Hi, I'm Tony Ruggiero, host of the Dewsweepers for over a dozen years. For a dozen years, I've had the best seat on the lesson tee here as I sat and listened to the world's greatest teachers, the world's greatest mental coaches, fitness experts, equipment experts. Anything you needed to play better golf, I was able to bring to you each and every week on PGA Tour Radio. And more importantly, all of these guests, the very best from around the world of golf, were a huge influence on me and my teaching career and shaped everything that I believe today as I help folks play better golf here in the Dewsweeper Dome. I want to take this chance now as the Dewsweepers moves on and changes shape and changes form and bring back to you some of my favorite teachers, players, and guests. And hopefully you'll enjoy this opportunity as we bring you the lessons from the legends, the best segments that I've found as I've gone back through these dozen years, and I bring them back to you in the form of this Dewsweepers podcast. I hope you'll enjoy. And if you hear something you like and you want to reach out to us, or you want to go ahead and find out more instruction and see some of our instructional videos, go to dewsweepersgolf.com. That's dewsweepersgolf.com. Or you can always find me on Instagram as The Dewsweeper or Dewsweeper Golf on Twitter. I hope you enjoy this instruction. I've enjoyed the past dozen years with you each and every week, helping each of you play better golf.
Go ahead. No, really. Take a mulligan. Tony's back on the Dewsweepers Golf Show.
Welcome back into the Dewsweepers, everybody. It is a treat and a privilege for me to welcome onto the Dewsweepers once again, 2 times Masters champion, victorious Ryder Cup captain, Golf Hall of Fame member, and somebody I used to chase around Oak Hills and watch at the Texas Open in my days at St. Mary's University, Mr. Ben Crenshaw. Ben, how you doing? Welcome into the show.
I'm great, Tony. Thank you for having me on. I remember all those days at Oak Hills. That's still one of my favorite golf courses. I watched my first professional tournament there when I was 10 years old. And I will never forget it with my brother and I. Charlie is 15 months older. My dad took us down, and we went to the first tee box, and I watched Mike Suchak tee up a 1-iron, and he had this, he was a big, strong, burly guy, and he just buzzed this 1-iron right past our ears. We couldn't believe it. But Arnold Palmer was in the process of winning 3 Texas Opens in a row there. We had the best time, but that was my first look at professional golf, and it stuck with me. I can tell you this, Tony, that I've had a lot of lucky things in my life growing up here in Austin. When I was about 7 years old, Harvey Penick cut down a mashie, which is about a 5-iron. He cut it down about half size, and that was my first club. Messed around with that club for, about a year, and then I had a blade putter that the tennis coach, Wilmer Allison, it was one of his putters, and those were my 2 clubs for the first, 2 years. But my brother and I started about the same time, but Harvey encouraged us to go down to the practice green and play around with it. It was probably about 2 years after that. I can remember my dad and Harvey were looking at my grip on the practice tee, and they both nodded in agreement that was a good grip. So I had the solace of knowing that I must have done something right to please my dad and Harvey. So that's been my grip ever since.
I love the fact, that you're on here and you're talking about Harvey. And as a teacher myself, somebody that spends a lot of time developing junior players, I love the idea and the things that I've read so much about Harvey and his work with not just you and Mr. Kite, but so many of the great players. But to me, it seems that some of his genius was his ability to coach and teach players with different skills and different abilities, teach a variety of players, and to keep all of it very simple to where you could understand it and you could take it to the golf course.
He certainly looked at people's grips first, especially the young kids. And, as you know, Tony, in teaching, he liked the position of hands. He said, I certainly don't mind a junior using a 10-finger grip or an interlocking grip, but he was looking at the position of the pupil's hands when they put it on the club, and he paid a good bit of attention to that. I'll tell you what he did not want to do so much is to fill the young players' minds with so many details. He wanted to watch little girls and boys swing away. There's no question about that. But I'll tell you what he did, which was invaluable. He stressed the importance of the short game. He was very, very pretty direct in wanting the young person to learn how to chip and putt. And he wanted us to play games with each other. He wanted little contests. And he was very big on having. He said, "What I want you to do is have a little competition with your friend, and you take a ball and put it off the side of the green and chip the ball up to the hole and then putt it into the hole, but use one ball." He was very, very adamant about that. In other words, he didn't want someone to just put a pile of balls and hit the same shot over and over. What he wanted to do was to watch a person play with one ball and chip the ball up to the hole as best he could and then put it into the hole. He said that way you're learning golf and you have a little competition and you're putting a little pressure on yourself. And he said it's best when it is a little contest. He said you could, play for a Coca-Cola or whatever. Because he was very, very much stressing competition as well. But the little strokes, as we all found out, were just as important, if not more important, than the full shots. But he really wanted us to chip and putt. He stressed the importance of that, and he really, if he had a regret in life, it's in his books, he said, I really wanted most people, all throughout the golfers' ages, to spend more time on their short game. He said, I could not figure out ways to do it. And he said, I could have worked harder on that, because he said there's no question. If you handicap, if you want to improve on your handicap, he said the surefire way is to save strokes around the greens. And he is exactly right about that.
Boy, and that's a great point, especially for all the junior golfers out there. And Ben, obviously you're really busy now with your design business and don't play near as much golf as you used to. But when you go and you play, and do you still go back to the same basic things or the same basic thoughts when you're trying to play that you worked on way back when as you were coming up and working with Harvey?
Oh, absolutely, Tony. Each day I play. It's a job of a golfer to, when you go out and start to hit the first ball, whether that be on the practice tee, if you have enough time, it boils down to a sense of feel and a sense of rhythm and timing. And to put all those things together each day is the common goal of the golfer, because our hands don't feel the same way each and every day. Our swings, I would say more times than not, our swings are faster than what it should be. Harvey was always so wonderful in the way that he said, I want you to, I don't want you to strangle the club. I want a sensitive grip, a proper grip on the club, because you are trying to swing the business end of the club, your true head. And most times, he said, most times people are in a hurry to swing that club back. And he did say this, which I think is so important. He said, if a person wants to reach the end of the backswing, in other words, to complete the backswing, the best way to do that is to start the swing smoothly and sort of unhurried. He said that way the club will feel the heaviest, and that club will get back into the backswing in a smoother and a longer method. He said most of the time, if you start the swing, the first foot or foot and a half of a swing, if it starts quick, he said you won't get to the back of the backswing, and he's very much correct about that. So that's a sort of idea of sense of timing and rhythm, and it's true I think it's true for anybody, Tony. When we hit our best shots, we know, number one, that we've executed a pretty good rhythm and a pretty good timing of that swing. But we all know, too, that ball was hit solidly and squarely. Harvey had a great expression of hitting the ball solid. He said, solid is what you want. He said, I call that the no roll point on the club face. In other words, if you hit it in the center of the club face, there is obviously less torquing involved. He said any golfer's aim is to try to meet that ball solid. Now, it's born in us all to try to kill the ball. That's as long as golf has ever been played, we all have to resist the temptation of trying to kill the ball. That's just the way it is. Obviously, today is a power game, and it is very exciting for people to watch people hit a long ball. And yes, it is a great part of it. It always has been. But there's so much more to the game as well on the process of trying to cut down strokes during the day. Golf is a game of temperament and judgment, learning what to do in certain situations. Many times it's cutting your losses and playing smartly as well.
Ben, great stuff. Great stories about your learning from Harvey Penick. I appreciate so much you taking the time to come on the Dewsweepers, and I hope we can catch up with you down the road and share more stories.
Oh, thank you, Tony. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you.
All right. That's Ben Crenshaw. I'm Tony Ruggiero. The Dewsweepers Golf Show will be right back with more help for your golf game.
Tee it up. The Dewsweepers will be right back.
If you want to get better at the game of golf, you need a complete program from teachers who have gotten results. The Dewsweepers Golf Schools offer programs guaranteed to improve your game in all aspects. The same program that has taken players to the PGA Tour, players to #1 world ranking, and numerous victories can help you or your junior golfer play the golf you've always dreamed of. Dewsweepers Golf Schools focus on developing the fundamental skill sets needed to play the game and improve, regardless of what level you are. Dewsweepers Golf Schools focus on teaching short game, full swing, mental, and physical training, also club fitting. Dewsweepers Golf Schools, with instruction from Tony Ruggiero and Wayne Flint, are at locations in Birmingham, Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, and Camp Creek Golf Club in Water Sound, Florida. For more information on taking your game to the next level, call 800-203-4885 or go to dewsweepersgolfschool.com. The Loomis Golf brand is back, and now they've brought your favorite collegiate team logos with them. The Loomis Golf brand, high performance, tour validated. Loomis Golf is back at www.loomisgolf.com. That's www.loomisgolf.com. 61 collegiate team logos available. Now available in dynamic gold wedges and putter shafts also. The Loomis Golf brand, it's back. And now they have your favorite college team just in time for football season. Dewsweepers listeners get a special free shipping when you put DEW, D-E-W, in the box at checkout. Free shipping, D-E-W, in the box at checkout. www.loomisgolf.com. Loomis is back. High performance shafts, tour validation, 61 collegiate team logos available. Only through loomisgolf.com. Free shipping for Dewsweepers listeners only. That's loomisgolf.com.